So I'm going to talk about the fourth mystery in the Elven Star method. We come to a point in life where we try to understand what has happened, where we're going, what's the meaning of life, how do we do this thing called living? And this doesn't always come to people at the same age, of course. Some people are very young when they consider this, and yet some are very old. Some are facing death before they address this question. So it's not certain at what point in your life this becomes the important focus. Excuse me. However, at some point we come to realize that all the interesting things that we've done, all the books we've read and the traveling and the people and all of that is all very well and good. We've come to understand how to find a bit of money to pay for the food and the rent and so on. And we've perhaps formed relationship and developed a sense of what it's like to be a parent and understand the heart and the importance of awakening the heart. All of that is the normal process of life. And if we actually look at that in a cynical way or an objective examination, we find not much difference between much of what people end up doing with their lives and what animals do. Animals breed, nest, feed themselves, propagate, and most people focus on that. Partnership, children, career, house and home. Those are the real main focuses for many people. Fine, up to a point. But what we're talking about with the fourth mystery of the Elven Star is that point, really. It's not enough. Animal-like behavior, however pleasing it is and fulfilling it is on one level, is just not enough. We're not animals, we're much more than that in potential terms. And we move from the level of animal to the level of human when we make our decisions based on principle rather than expediency. Expediency is what works for me now, what takes care of my needs at the moment, what's the path of least resistance, how easy is it to do that rather than this. What's expedient in the moment deals with the immediate need that we have. And it doesn't take into account the longer term in a very, very deep way at all. Whereas principle is the reverse of that. Principle is saying, look, in the long term, I want to become that kind of person. It's not measured in terms of I want that big house or that lot of money or that yacht or a relationship with 5 lovely kids. It's not measured in those terms. It's measured in terms of what I want to become through my children, through my relationships, through my career. But nevertheless, it's who I am that becomes the foundation structure of my principles in life. Do I want to be somebody who does the easy thing, does whatever feels good in the moment for pleasure? Do I cheat? Do I lie or not? And most people would say, oh no, I'm a truth teller, and they're not. And they do cheat and they do take what's not theirs, and they got this image of themselves as a good person, and they define good in a way which is not consistent with their behavior. Well, make up your mind. Either that behavior which you're doing is good, or you're not a good person. Which is it? If you think that stealing is good because that's the normal way of things in an aggressive society, fine. Then be a thief. Be a good thief, though. And don't make any moral judgments about it. If that's your decision, fine. But if your decision is thieving and telling lies and cheating people in romance and so on, if you think that's not good behavior, well then don't do it. And the people who can actually make that decision and enact that decision with strength these are the people that have understood the fourth mystery. And they become powerful. Their character is strengthened by their principles, and they do the right thing. They always do the right thing. And if they don't, then they apologize and they make good, and they get back on track again, and so on, because you can't always make sure you do the good thing, but you can try. So, if you look at your fourth Sabian symbol in the Elven Star, you'll get a sense of the kind of examinations that life is going to throw up at you. Because we can't develop character without serious examinations, serious challenges. And some of these challenges are, can I do that? It's really difficult, but can I do it? One kind of challenge. Can you get your accountancy certificate? You need to work for 5 years and buckle down and do the work. Or can I become a traveler and be homesick and homeless and find a way to live on the road? Or can I be a parent and deal with householding responsibilities and paying the bills and feeding the kids and going to their shows and their football matches? And whatever is your challenge, that's what will develop your character. And we need to choose our challenges very carefully, because they will shape us. And even if we've a yearning to be this, our challenges will actually force us to be that, like it or not. So the decisions we make, which bring on the challenges, are critical. They are the crisis moments in our life, the turning points, the watershed moment. Now, some of these decisions are to say goodbye to things in terms of moving away. And some of them are to say yes to things in terms of moving towards. So some relationships you form, whether with romantic implications or career implications or sport or friendship or whatever, some of these relationships become the fabric of your future and therefore most assuredly shape your character. Some of your decisions to buy things or sell things or visit places, they shape what will become. I remember a client, a young woman, told me she was really in love with this man. She's found the love of her life, but she had a ticket to go to Australia. She intended to spend 6 months in Australia away from him. And she was going to go and do this trip and come back and be with him then. And I had a hard job persuading her how ridiculous that was. How stupid can you get? But she went to Australia, and of course she lost her love in her home country. People rarely take advice. So you need to work it out for yourself. You need to know how to make your decisions. And these decisions, I'm not talking about choices. Shall I go here or there, have this cup of coffee or that cup of tea? That's not what I mean. I don't mean choices. I mean decisions. Things that cut away possibility. A decision cuts away opportunity. I could do this, I could do that. I need to decide between them. Right, I've decided. That is no longer an option. That's a decision. It's irrevocable. Many people need some help in learning what a decision actually is, how to make it. And I'd like to offer my suggestion about the way to make a decision.